Um, let's start in very traditional Sphinx this morning. So starting with the easy statue pose. Line your belly and then come up onto your elbows, lining up your elbows with the width of your shoulders, maybe sliding your elbows just slightly in front of your shoulders. And you can wiggle your hips a little bit, kind of maybe make some sighing noises. And you can even be brave and start your morning off with some morning wows. So seeing if your whole face can be delighted to wake up, or maybe the delight starts in the surface, can seep in. So wow, 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 wow. So you want to feel like you can even throw the wow to your ear tips. Beautiful. And then feel free to do some soft, slow circles, pausing if there's a little bit more feeling in one area. And after you've done one or two, just change the direction and balance out by doing one or two in the other way. And then find a little stillness after your circles. Feel your shoulders dropping down your back. And take a couple of breaths and just notice the room that you're in. The feeling of the yoga mat underneath you. Notice the sounds around you. Notice the light or the lack of light. Notice your breath moving in and out of you. Often when we turn our attention to our breath, it naturally deepens, lengthens, becomes more full. Notice there's a little pause between your inhale and your exhale. And there's a little pause between your exhale and your inhale. You can employ a soft Ujjayi breath. So often we teach the Ujjayi breath for like mostly in vinyasa. And you want to breathe in through your nose. You have a slight constriction to your throat, like you're on stage whispering, or, being a creepy person doing crank calls back in the day. You want to feel that you lightly pull your Uddiyana Bandha to your spine for your Ujjayi breath. And this breath is called a victorious breath. And so in our vinyasa, where we're really trying to increase the heat in our whole body, we allow that breath to work more like a bellows and a little bit more actively. In our yin practice, it's like a smaller, politer, quieter Ujjayi breath. So maybe instead of imagining, the victorious breath of the guy on the top of the mountain hill, the small, victorious, are these celebration of the little moments, of the smaller things, of the details. So it's more like we notice it ourselves instead of proclaiming it for everyone else to see. Now, with your next inhale, start to lift up your chest actively, and then with your exhale, soften down to the ground. And let's go right into sleeping lizard. So we're going to bend our right knee and our right elbow and look to the right. You have your right ear on the ground, so it's a subtle twist of your neck. You can maybe feel that the one area that feels maybe a little tight in here is your hip. But mostly, for most bodies, you want to look to your right as well. So you're looking at your bent hand, and for most bodies, this is really super passive and relaxing, and also is a position that we can recover in well. So when I'm teaching hot yoga and you have an intense pose on the floor and afterwards you maybe feel a little nauseous or something, like this pose is also really good pose to recover in. And then keeping your right knee bent, lift up onto your elbows and thread your left arm behind your right elbow. And we're going to do a yin twist. So you're going to grab onto your right knee with your left hand and then see if you can roll open gently without slapping your knuckles on the floor. And find your way into this twist. So we come into it from a different direction than we're very used to. So maybe it feels a little tighter. Maybe it feels like it got a deeper twist into your middle spine, tip, for instance. Take a full inhale. With your exhale, let your sigh come out through your mouth. So we feel this natural rhythm that our breath brings to us when we're asleep, when we're not paying attention to it even. And when we come on to our yoga mat and come into our practice, we can bring a little bit more attention to it. And it nearly feels like we're kind of marrying the conscious and the unconscious together to allow this rhythm in our breath to become steadier or intentional. This bringing of intention and awakeness to our breathing isn't to excarnate us from our body, but to bring us into our body so we can kind of be more mindful. but also finding that when we bring healthy attention to natural states, we have as human beings this capacity to lift the very nature of a thing up. So in this case, it's our body and our breath, but also if you bring intention to, how you're growing food, or how your voice sounds, or, so many things, it's our very attention that actually has energy in it, has the gift of inducing beingness. So between two people, when we're paying attention, we really actually lift up the relationship and fortify and build the relationship more. And it kind of imbues more beingness to the relationship. Whenever two people meet, there is a being that is created through the meeting of two people. But we kind of, sometimes think of us as slow little humans. We really notice when those relationships are quote unquote important and significant. And that's where our attention goes. Less so do we notice these interactions that are more fleeting or kind of customary, or how would you say it? Like you don't notice your relationship to the person at the market as much because you're so used to going to the market and having different people there at the cash out for you to go pay for your food or whatever. So it's nearly like part of the shop for you. But when we pay attention, just like when we pay attention to our breath, we can bring a little bit more of ourselves into that relationship, building up this possibility that lies between every human, or human and the whole world. Roll back onto your belly and come to the sleeping lizard on little lizard on the other side. Was that sleeping lazy lizard? You might find it's harder to turn your head to the left than it is to the right, or vice versa. And just notice in when I was like a teenager, or maybe even earlier, I remember hearing my dad, I think, talk about Rudolf Steiner saying that only life comes from life. And, as a teenager, I was like, duh. It seems like such an obvious statement. And it's, of course, we can think about like, the theories around test tube babies and stuff like that, and how does that play in? But over time, this sentence for me has become a lot more, has become deeper and richer and more nuanced. And in our humanity, we can find that we are actually like life givers. So of course, when we procreate, when we have sex and a baby is created, like, we get it. Look, we made life. But on the subtler levels, our interactions, our attention does a lot to bring something to life. That from our living now and here attention, we imbue more life into whatever we're paying attention to. Now come up onto your elbows and slide yourself into you can keep your left knee bent, and you're going to slide into, yes, into enlightenment. Just slide into it. No, you're going to reach your arm underneath, hold on to your left knee, and then roll yourself open. Coming into the twist on the other side, take a full inhale with your exhale, just sigh it out. No, it's not as simple as if we ignore something, it doesn't come to life, which sometimes I really wish were true. But it's more that when we pay attention, we build something up and bring more life into it. So Caroline Myss talks about, tells a story about how she's noticed in her own biography that whenever she's in gratitude and in reverence of even just her life, she gets clearer messages from the divine on how to act. Now, for most of us, at least myself, I can speak for myself, like I don't hear clear messages from God. Like it doesn't, I don't have like, there's not a particular voice or way of hearing the divine for me. But there are moments where there's these flashes of understanding, or these kind of gut reactions about what to do that maybe is more similar to what Caroline Myss is talking about. But she had this beautiful kind of realization that when she is in gratitude, in the state of actually kind of nearly love in the eyes, where you look out onto your life and love where you live and love who you're with, love what you're doing, that's when you get more clear kind of directions on how to keep going, which is a little hard, because isn't it when we are sick and suffering, or really challenged with something, that we more often turn our attention to the invisible and to the divine? That it's when something bad happens that all of a sudden we start to pray more, ask for assistance, ask for guidance. But we're so busy worrying and fearing the future that I wonder if that is often kind of the barrier from receiving the guidance in a way that we can hear it. Take another full inhale, and with your exhale, roll all the way onto your back. And hug your legs in. And first, just roll your hips side to side, massaging your lower back. And then start to roll back and forth on your spine. And I want you to turn around. So you let your body shift about 180 degrees. And then crazy, but we're going to roll up into a forward bend. You might have to try a couple of times. The booty might be holding you back, but you might find enough momentum to roll up, stand up, and bow forward all in one motion. Take your feet hip distance or even a little bit wider and bend and straighten a couple times, working out your knees. Let your knees be soft and really see if you can touch your rib cage down to your thighs. And then hook your hands into the crooks of your elbows. If you're holding on the outside, you're doing too much work. And let your upper body pendulum as your legs become stiller. Like less movement, not like Ben. Let your head drop, let your tongue be fat. And in this incredibly kind of dramatic bow, just maybe take a couple moments and, bow to what you want to dedicate your class to, or what you want to bring more life to, just through your attention. Release your hands. Toe heel your feet closer together, either hip distance or touching, and then root down with your heels and start to roll up all the way up. Then stretch your arms up. And with your arms up over your head, you want to root down through your heels and lift your hands higher, maybe you're even palming the ceiling. Stretching the space between your ribs and your hips, get as long as you can. And then with your exhale, bring your hands to heart center in Samastitihi. And we're going to sound 3 ohms here. So standing ohms to start our heating, warming part of our practice. So hands together, elbows relaxed, thumbs against your breastbone. Imagine that like the tips of your ears are being lifted up by some, divine little cherubs. And then close your eyes, empty your breath. And let's take an inhale together. Ah. Inhale, stretch your arms up high, catch onto your left wrist with your exhale. And then with your next inhale, pull yourself even longer and trying to keep this length. Lift up out of your waist and arch your body so that your hips go to your left and your hands go to your right. Feel that you're pushing down to the earth with both heels. Now see if you can pull in your Uddiyana Bandha, that spot right below your belly button. You can lightly, with your attention, pull it towards your spine. Maybe lifting up your root lock. Take another full inhale as you get long. Exhale here, and then inhale, stretch straight up. Switch the grip on your wrists. Inhale, get even taller and longer. And then keeping your length, lift up out of your waist. Feeling your hips slide to the right with your armpits and your hips squared straight forward and your chin slightly lifted over your chest. So lift your chin a little bit. Sabine, pull your chin in a little bit. So pull your chin towards your throat. And then if I was a mirror or the TV screen was a mirror, I could see both of your eyes sparkling. And then inhale, stretch up tall. And release your hands and exhale, bow down. Let your head drop, let your knees be soft, let your upper body be heavy. Let's take a couple extra breaths here. So we're getting ready to do a breathful sun salutation. So too many breaths. So maybe get rid of your sweaters and your socks if you're still wearing them. Oriented towards the front of your yoga mat. Allow your next inhale to lift you up to a halfway lift with your hands on the ground. So your knees most likely are going to be a little bit bent unless you're very flexible. You want to feel that you're pulling your chest forward and imagine that you're trying to separate your sit bones. So feel that this is the deep muscles kind of blossoming your buttocks out. Yep, I said it. It's the feels. Take another full inhale. And then with your exhale, bow down again. Now inhale, halfway lift, fly your arms up. Feel the difference. Feel that you can maybe lengthen your legs more. You can pull your belly up more. You can reach through your fingertips maybe. And then with your exhale, bow down, one breath. Inhale, hands on the ground again, halfway lift, and then step back with your straight spine to a plank. Again, get active here. So you can feel that obviously your arms are working. Spread out your fingers. Feel your shoulder blades pulling away from your ears, down the side of your ribs. Feel your heels reaching back, your thighs lifting up to the back of the legs. Now inch forward like a hungry crocodile, your chin away from your chest already. So you're looking kind of at the base, the bottom of your wall in front of you. Now keep this gaze move down through Chaturanga to the ground. Plant all of your toenails onto the ground. Imagine you have little roots coming out of your toenails. Push your toes down, even your pinky toes. Lift your kneecaps up, strong thighs, pushing your pelvis down. Then inhale, low cobra. Now just float your hands to feel that your back is doing the work. Feel again, can you push your toes down more to lift up your chest? And then place your hands on the ground and maybe lift up even more with the support of your arms into a deeper back bend. And then with your exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Tuck your toes under and reach back to downward facing dog. So you come onto your knees maybe, or maybe you're feeling like you want a little fire, so you lift up to Chaturanga. However you want to get there, find your way to downward facing dog. And then either wiggle around a bunch or get still. This is another area where we refine our practice. So there's a lot of elements in our yoga practice that we can focus on no matter what style of yoga we're doing or what the teacher is saying. There's always a little bit more or always a way to kind of make it your own. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way. Feel that you're holding your breath out in Kumbhaka. Look forward and then hop your feet in between your hands. Inhale, fly your halfway lift. Feel the expansion on the back, on the front, through your fingers. And then with your exhale, bow forward. And with your inhale, roll up, stretching your arms all the way to the ceiling. And with your exhale, samasti tihi, like you're coming home. And then release your hands at the end of your exhale. One breath, one movement. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, bow forward, bending your knees if you want. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the ground. And then exhale, Chaturanga. So you're jumping to Chaturanga as your elbows bend. Inhale, upward facing dog. Feel your thighs strong, your toenails still pushing down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now, if you invite a little bend into your knees, then you can find a little bit more of a tilt in your pelvis. Feel your inner thighs rotating back behind you. Noticing if you can lift up the front of your legs so you don't have any wrinkles in your ankles. And when you look back at your feet, you also want to have your heels hidden behind your ankles. Take another full inhale, empty your breath all the way, look forward and lightly hop your feet in between your hands. And then inhale as you fly your halfway lift. Exhale, release and hug the back of your knees, letting your head drop towards your shins. Root down and roll up, stretch up tall. Even your fingernails reach up to the ceiling unless you're touching it. And then exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. Now keep your leg long and flex your foot here and roll the pinky side of your toe a little bit down to the ground so your hips are squared, your pelvis is squared. Reaching out through your foot. I didn't say that, but it's a great idea, pair. Okay, flex your foot and leading with your heel, you're going to keep your straight leg and you're going to take it out to the side like you're some sort of weird dog without knees that's taking a pee on a hydrant. So good feedback is if your outside of your right thigh feels like there's flames coming out. You want to feel like you're trying to put your big toe into your ear without bending your knee. And then inhale, stretch your leg back. Now bend your knee and let your hips spin open, keeping your shoulders squared to the yoga mat. So what we're doing here is we're really warming up all the places in our hips we can move our leg to. So by keeping your shoulders squared, you're really allowing a little twist to come in your hips. Take another full inhale. And then with your exhale, let your right foot come all the way forward to your right hand. And then take your foot to the outside of your right hand. You can put your left knee down on the ground and just start to make some big circles with your hip. Or maybe it feels like you're like just, conducting with your buttocks. Oh yeah, talk about heavenly booty. Beautiful. And then toe heel. Sorry, that was my wrist. Toe heel your foot. So it's right underneath your knee. And then you're going to tuck your back toes under and push your left heel back. Feel that you're squeezing your hips together and bring your hands first to your knee. Re-squeeze your hips and add a small, just energetic tuck to your tail. So you're lifting your belly away from your thigh and then stretch your arms up. Strong legs here. Take another full inhale and then exhale. Ride your breath all the way down. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing doggy. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Breathe it in, and with your exhale, sigh it out. And then inhale your left leg. So we're going to keep your leg long and extended. We're going to keep it. You're just going to keep it. I can't make you do anything with your leg. Okay. So your hips are squared. So to make sure your hips are squared, Hedwig, you want to roll the pinky side of your left foot down. And yes, I know you know this, but sometimes we don't actually notice where our hips are. Feel the extension from your fingers, through your arms, your shoulders coming down, your spine is long. And then, thank you, pair, keeping your foot flexed, taking your heel out to the left. I mean, it nearly feels like karate meets yoga. Like you want to have this kind of kung fu sensibility in your left leg. Or imagine you're trying to itch your ear with your big toe without bending your knee. If your thigh isn't feeling like it's on fire, you need to work a little harder, bring it a little bit more out, lift it up a little higher. And then inhale, stretch your leg back. Now bend your knee and let your hips spin open. So noticing that you want to twist your hips, but you want to keep your shoulders stable. It takes concentration. You can pull your Uddiyana Bandha to your spine, helping the twist. Take another full inhale. And then with your exhale, step your left foot to your left hand. Take your left foot to the outside of your hand, perhaps. Put your right knee down on the ground. And then make some lovely Buddhalicious circles. Is that booty or Buddha? What did she say? Sexy Buddha poses. But we rarely see Buddha's butt. We only see his big belly, if anything. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay, tangent. I'll get back to that one. Buddha's butt. Note to self. And then bring your knee over your ankle, bringing your hand to the outside, tuck your back toes under, and really effort pushing your right heel back, squeeze your inner thighs together. Come up first with your hands to your knees, and then find that you're going to have this small little tuck. So we often come really forward here. Then I want you to already just tuck your tail just a little bit. So you're lifting the front of your hips away from your thigh, and then stretch your arms up. Reach through your fingertips. Feel the strength of your legs. And then with your exhale, vinyasa, come into the flow. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Finding a small bend in your knees, perhaps, especially if you're tight in your hamstrings. Feel that you have action both on the front of your legs as well as the back of your legs. So you're dropping your heels to the ground and energetically lifting up the front of your thighs. But then you're also subtly trying to reach the inside of your thighs back behind you. And the back of your thighs, you're actually, it feels like you're pulling out to your right, not to your right, out to the outside of your legs. So your right back thigh is moving to the right and your left back thigh is moving to the left. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way. And then hop your feet in between your hands. Inhale, fly your halfway lift like a free bird. And then exhale, bow forward. Inhale, Utkatasana. Now, again, you want to have you have a little sway to your back here, but then you're very subtly, it's as if you're starting to tuck your tail. You lift your belly up and reach your tailbone down. Feel that strength in your legs, the lift in your arms coming back towards your ears. Take another full inhale, and with your exhale, open arm twist to your right. Inhale here, exhale here, then inhale, Utkatasana, and open arm twist to your left. Inhale here, feel that your hips are aiming straight back. Maybe you need to pull your right knee back a little bit. And then inhale, Utkatasana, exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the ground, ready to jump. And exhale, sweet Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Spread out your fingers. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot all the way forward to your right thumb. Rise up, crescent lunge. And then with your exhale, open up warrior two. Inhale, reverse your triangle pose. Exhale, come into triangle. Take a beautiful full breath here. So with your inhale, really feel the expansion of the pose. With your exhale, maybe really tuck your right buttocks towards your left heel. Take another full inhale. And then exhale, Chaturanga. So you bring your hand down, you let your hips squared, and maybe you throw in a running person. However you want to get there. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky. With your exhale, step your left foot forward to your left thumb. Rise up, crescent lunge, strong legs, feel your inner thighs squeezing. And then open arm, nothing. We didn't do that. And then open up warrior two. Thank you, Hedwig. Inhale, reverse your triangle. Feel the whole length of your left side extending. And then exhale, keep that extension as you shift into triangle. So naturally, your hips come a little bit behind here, which is good because you can get more active in your legs. And then you're going to really tuck your left buttocks towards your right heel. Feel that you can lean your shoulders back, reach your arms apart. Take a full inhale. And then with your exhale, find your way to downward facing dog through vinyasa. So you can throw in a running person, like a running man, like Pear did, or maybe you really tired and you just need to go right back to downward facing dog. However you get there, you personalize your practice through how you do your vinyasa. Notice how what you pay attention to in your classes, in your practice, really helps kind of ignite or even illuminate that area of your practice. Take another full inhale, empty your breath all the way, and then walk or float your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow down. Toes and heels together, bend your knees, drop your booty, inhale, Utkatasana. And then you're gonna swing your right arm underneath your left arm. And you're gonna lift up your right thigh and braid your thigh over your left thigh, maybe letting your toes twist all the way around. If your toes twist all the way around, you wanna reach your big toe down to the inside of your foot. Now lift up your chest a little bit. And then with your exhale, you're gonna tap your elbows down to your knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, tap down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, tap down. And now this time you're gonna unwind your right leg, stretch your legs straight back, reach your hands forward. And then rewind. So bend your standing knee a little bit, braid your right leg back, lift up your chest. Ta-da. Inhale, stretch your arms up, lengthen your legs. It should feel really amazing. And then sit back into Utkatasana. Sweep your left arm underneath your right arm. Keeping your knees bent, braid your left leg over your right knee. Maybe your toes come all the way down, all the way down, all the way around, and then reach your big toe to the inside of your ankle. Inhale, lift your chest up. With your exhale, tap your elbows to your knee. Inhale up. Exhale, tap. Inhale up. Exhale, tap your elbows down. And now you're going to unwind your left leg. Reach with the ball of your big toe. Stretch your leg back as you reach your prayer hands forward like an eagle beak. Conserve just enough energy to come back or not, and then rewind. Braid your left thigh over your right thigh. Inhale, lift up your chest. Then unwind and stand up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. With your exhale, step your right foot to your right thumb. Rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your triangle pose. And with your exhale, fly into half moon. Beautiful. Really radiate out from your hips, flexing your top foot. And then with your exhale, bring your left hand down to the yoga mat. Roll your left hip closed by rolling the pinky side of your toes down, keeping your leg lifted. Now inhale, stretch your chest forward, gain length, get your left leg long and strong. And with your exhale, open up your right arm up to the sky. And then you're gonna maybe need a soft bend in your right knee, but you're gonna bend your left knee and catch your left foot with your right hand. Oh yeah, sneaky. Now with this little bend in, a micro bend in your right leg, do what Pear did, stand up. Who's in charge here? I love it. Now lift up. So this is crossbow. So kick your foot into your hand, let your chest expand, try to move your knee back and up. You know, you can even imagine maybe grabbing your foot with both hands one day. Crossbow variation. And then come forward, bowing forward, release your left foot, bring your right hand down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, one-legged yogi's choice, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Think good thoughts. The other side's going to be awesome. Stretch your left leg long. Step your left foot to your left hand. Rise up, crescent lunge. Really squeezing your inner thighs together. Long, strong back leg. Open up with your exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your triangle pose. And then with your exhale, you're going to launch into half moon. Stretch your arms apart. Feel that it's like a very happy to see you starfish. And then with your exhale, bring your right hand down. Inhale, drag your chest forward, square your right hip. And then bend your right knee and reach back with your left hand and grab onto your right foot. And my darlings, my dear, just stand up. Where's your attention? Allow yourself to breathe. Kick your right knee back, lift up your heart, open up your chest. Beautiful. And then with your exhale, bow forward. Bring your right hand down, release your right foot, bring your left hand down, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sweet Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, Chaturanga. And then slowly lower yourself to the ground. It's not very far. It should go fast. And then you're going to bend both of your knees and you're going to catch the outsides of your feet. We're going to do a nice bow pose for our back bending today. So to get your feet, you squeeze your knees closer together. But once you have the grip, you're going to separate your feet and your knees so they're hip distance apart. Now feel your shoulders reaching back and together, and then kick your feet into your hands and up you come. So really get active. You're pushing with the balls of your big toes. Especially if you're a little bit bow-legged. I want to push the screen, Hedwig. Push the balls of your big toes into my fingers. Yes. So it's like you're trying to push with the inside of your legs more. Let your toes even spread out. Now, inhale, get a little taller. And with your exhale, see if you can maybe roll to your left. Yes. Now, once you've rolled onto your left side, you might notice that you can push your hips a little bit forward. You can even let your neck come back. You have the freedom here. And then find enough momentum to come back to center, lift up a little, and then roll to the other side. Ta-da! You can allow your head to come into the stretch, not your head, your neck, letting your neck come back. Yeah, beautiful, Brigitte. And then come back onto your belly. Here's the final one. Get as tall as you can with your feet and your hands lifting up high. And then with your exhale, release down to the ground. Let your right ear come to the ground and just wiggle your hips side to side. And then lift up your head and turn your head the other way. And then roll onto your belly. And we're just going to do a really cathartic twist. So it's going to be just like 1 or 2 breaths on each side. So roll onto your belly. I'm sorry. Roll off of your belly. Roll onto your back. So just roll over or flip over. Hug your knees in and gently send them to the left-hand side. Take a full inhale, exhale. And then roll back to center and take your beautiful knees to the right, letting your knees be as high as your hips. Take a full inhale, exhale. And then find your way back to center for Shavasana. That would have been a nice transition, Hedwig, agreed. So find your body relaxing, preferably on your yoga mat, but whatever. And now it's time to relax your breathing and even relax your attention, but you want to keep it still local. So keep it in the room, if not in your body. With your next inhale, invite your breath to the edges of your body. Maybe wiggling and finding some movement at the peripheries. With your inhale, you can stretch your arms up over your head, reach your feet away from your hands. And with your exhale, roll into a ball. And if it's comfortable for you, come onto your side, just noticing the aliveness inside of you. And then help yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Allow your hands to meet at heart center. Close your eyes. Lift up who you dedicated your class to, if you did. Empty your breath, and let's close with one Om. Take a deep inhale. Ah. Bring your prayer hands to your third eye. Invite the divine light. And as we bow forward together, we say, Namaste. And so much love. And thank you so much for being here, for practicing, for giggling a little bit even. Perfect. Have a wonderful day, week. Hope to see you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Ja. Hello. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Adieu.